we've gotten this halo bar done and our gas tank protector and all that good stuff, one thing that I didn't get the chance to do before when I was working on the cage was mounting angle iron to the bottom of this with holes in it so that I could bolt the roof to the halo bar, which we're allowed to do. So I figured I got my gas tank protector video done early, so why don't I just knock this out while I'm at it. And I'll probably add this to a few other just minor cleanup list items that I have, rather than trying to make it into its own video, because it should be pretty quick. But I want to do angle iron on the front and back and bolt the roof to that angle iron, and weld the back of the angle iron to the halo bar. So I've gone ahead and I cut these sections up of just angle iron that I had laying around. I have 6 10-inch sections. These ones are a little thicker, so I think I'm going to mount these 2 in the middle, front and back, and then front and back on the sides. We'll have these thinner pieces like this. So I got the drill set up, and well, I'm gonna drill out some holes in these, and then we'll weld them up. All right, there they are. 6 little piggies ready to get welded on. 2 big ones for the middle. Wait a minute. It's not right. Oh, nope. I got one more to drill. This guy. What was I thinking? All right. We'll move to the welding stage as soon as I'm done with this guy. Look at these beautiful babies. So these are all welded on and drilled. And all we have to, I mean, you can see there's quite a gap right now for me standing on the roof, bending it. And then here are the ones in the front. And so all we have yet to do now is drill down through these holes, run our bolts up through the bottom with washers, and then nut them at the top and tighten them down. And I don't know, I'm by myself, and I've got to put the bolt through. No one here to help me, so that might take me a few minutes. So we'll be back once I've got all the nuts and bolts in. And like that, the roof was then bolted to the halo bar. So a little bit of mismatched hardware, but when you're reusing stuff over and over again, you're gonna get that sometimes. But she's completely bolted to these pieces of angle iron. Here's our, I gotta clear this carpeting off the inside of the ceiling, but pretty happy. So this roof, like I said, we took out that little strut. It had 2 of these, had a little support beam there. This one's gone now, but now we have Mr. Halo Bar. So we can knock this one off the cleanup list. So next step, what we're working on today. Sorry for the pause in the video content. We had quite a cold snap here in Colorado, and it pretty much put a damper on the progress of the build. You saw last time I got these cradle pieces all cleaned up and painted. I just threw them in the car for now. Today's project is to knock out our down bars. We're gonna have 2 down bars in the front that attach to the cage, and then they're gonna angle and come in and attach to the halo bar. 2 front bars here and 1 back bar here. That's what this big 6-foot piece of square tubing is for the back bar. Back bar is gonna have this smaller piece It's going to extend out, and we're going to cut a section off that. That's going to come down through the roof, hole in the roof, down to the middle of the trunk deck. We can actually come in 6 inches from the trunk deck, and so we're going to flatten out a little piece here, and we're going to put a nice big plate right in the middle of this trunk deck, and then that's going to angle up and in through a hole that we're going to cut in the roof and notch this side here, so those two will weld together. And then I'm going to put a couple of gusset pieces on the side. On this side, we're going to have 2 that come out and down. And then I got a piece of pipe here that's going to attach the 2 in the middle back up here for additional strength. And that's what we're working on today. So first step is to get these pieces notched so that they can weld to the cage here, and cut so that we can weld our pieces, fit our pieces in here. And so I'm gonna take these and we're gonna start getting them chopped up. Got the first one cut here. Let's see how this is gonna work. There we go. Nice. That's pretty good. All right. Now I'll cut the rest like that, but we're gonna have to consult with the rules first to see. I believe there is a rule in here about how far apart they have to be. Let's take a look. So the rules state that these have to be at least 14 inches apart. So I've got them where I want them, which is 20 inches apart at the moment, which meets the need for the rules. And you know, I want enough room so I can get out potentially of any one of these holes. I'm a small guy, but you know, still like to have the room. And I kind of wanted to mount this close to here so that it can, you know, protect my switch box from things potentially coming in. But I also wanted it close enough on this side so that I could still have a good visibility out of the front and that it wasn't blocking my view. I think I've got that set. So now that I've got these where I want them, I'm gonna cut the other one of these. Then I will cut these guys. In fact, I'm gonna mark this one right now where I want it. Just gonna be like this. It's gotta come up a little bit. And it's gotta go like this, because it's gonna go straight back into the halo bar. So I'm gonna get these 2 pieces cut and show you what they look like. Now that I've got one cut into the shape that I want, I'm gonna do that with another one. So I'm just gonna mark. And we'll get this other one cut. Need to get some more There's some more blades. Got two front ones cut, got them on here. I'm gonna weld them on, and then I'll measure my pieces that I'm gonna knock in here, cut those, and then we'll weld those on next. So I'm gonna weld these and cut these. Well, these are what they look like welded on. I'm gonna measure and cut a piece for here, and then I'll weld it on and show you what that looks like. I've gotten the tops welded on. Because of the difference here with the angle, there's still quite a little gap there. I'm gonna weld a couple pieces of strap down to the sides just to strengthen that up, I think. Maybe underneath I'll weld something. So I'm gonna shore that up in a little bit. But while that waits, I'm gonna get this piece welded on to start my back bar. So again, this is gonna weld on into the middle, come back. Then I'm gonna have an angled piece that goes through a hole in the ceiling, down to a piece right here, a plate that's gonna get put right there. So I'm gonna flatten this, get my plate welded on, get this piece welded on, and then I'll do my hole, and then the long piece will get cut out of what's left of this 2x2, and the whole thing will get married together. I've got the start of the rear bar welded on here. I don't have all the welds done. I'll do that as part of my cleanup list at some point. More bolts here. Cut an X here. And basically, oh, I don't know what that was. Basically, what we're doing now is we are going to maybe can. There we go. Attempt fold these over. Fold these over and re-bolt them around this hole so that when this second piece of this back bar comes down through this hole, it's just a little stronger and less likely to tear is the hope. We'll see. I don't know. I never tried anything like this before, so I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if it'll help. Maybe it's just busy work. It's not adding any strength to the car. I don't know. Now I'm just gonna drill some holes and run these 4 bolts, and then we'll get back to cutting this piece to attach from here to here. So I got 4 bolts in. I'm just cramping them down right now. Like I said, I don't know if this is gonna add any strength whatsoever. Probably not, but we'll see. It looks cool. I guess there's that. So this long piece will get cut at an angle up there. We'll weld to this, come down through this hole to a flat plate on the rear valance and weld, and that will be our back bar. It's kind of a shot of it mocked up. That's double folded now because I had to create a little bit more room. I didn't get the hole quite right. That's that. I'll come down through. I'm gonna cut this so it can be flat and mount to the big plate that's gonna be under it. I've got it marked. I'm gonna pull it out now and cut it, and I'll cut my plate, and then I'll tack weld it in place, and you guys can get a look at it. Here is the results. Haven't cleaned this up yet. I got some cleaning up to do and a little bit more welding to do, but here's the back bar. Comes up through the hole in the ceiling, up, and welds to this piece. I did not cut it at an angle so that it would be flush, and then I filled there was a small gap up top. I completely filled that with a piece, and then I plated over the top, and I plated over one side. This is done, and then you guys saw earlier the front bars are done. So I just have a little bit of work to do here. I want to fill this in, and then I'm going to run some thick strap or plate on the sides of these to make these stronger. But I like the look of it, and the back bar is more straight, so I think it's actually going to be more, it's going to resist the rear end folding into the gas tank protector more than my Buick. My Buick had a bar that came up and this way, and it just seemed like it wanted to bend much easier. And so I'm hoping that the fact that this is a less of an angle between the halo bar and the back bar plate, it just will be stronger. So we will see. Seatbelt time. Oops. So the joker that I got this car from, Frankie, talking about you, removed the other side of the seatbelt. So I have the side that extends out here for the lap belt, but I don't have the part that clips into this square piece. So I got this carabiner here that the way I'm going to rig this up, I've done something similar to this before. Even a sketchier setup was once I just welded a master lock right to the center, and then did a similar thing like this that would attach to it. But instead of doing that, I bored out this D-ring a little bit so I could mount it. It's going to get mounted into the center with this underneath it, and then I'll clip it into that. The only thing I'm worried about is this is not welded. So I'm going to zap it real quick and weld it together. I don't know. These things are rated for hundreds and hundreds of pounds. I am not hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and I'm going to be the only thing pulling on it, so I don't even know if I should weld it. If I weld it, I'm worried it might be brittle and snap. So you know what? I think I'm not going to weld it. I changed my mind right here in the middle of a Crud Builder episode. I just changed my mind. That's the great thing about Derby. You can just do what you want to do. So, we are going to put that right there. And I will drill through and mount this thing, and this seat belt will be done, and we'll do a little video of me clipping it on. I got my holes drilled, so I'm gonna sit nicely over there like that, and then I got these little shorty 3/8 that I'm actually gonna bring up from the bottom, because that is the tunnel that my drive shaft is in, and so I don't want anything extending down into that tunnel that may get in the way, so I'm gonna bring these up reverse fashion, and we're gonna do them like that. With great difficulty, I was able to duct tape the bottom of these. So now I'm just gonna tighten these down. Now I just have to do the vice grip on the other side. This is our vice grip setup. Now we should be able to crank down the other one. Oh. Alright, that ain't going nowhere. Now, your seatbelt is that. That is your seatbelt. There's your... So, now you got a lap belt. And I run a lap belt because I can't see around me when I wear a 4-point harness. I have no neck movement once I have a 4-point harness on, so we'll use this guy. So, thanks for checking this out.